let's go ahead and take a look at a real basic example, meaning an example that we wouldn't do statistics on because the sample is so small. There's only 6 values, but it gives us indication of um, what the values are. So for the sample mean, if this is sample data, you add them up and divide by how many you have. You get this number here. So we say the mean is 3.66 or 3.67. Out of this data set, the value that occurs the most is 1, hence that's the mode. The median you determine by lining it up and then finding the middle value. What number is in between 3 and 4? That would be 3.5. That's the median. Now remember, the median is the 50th percentile, and there's slightly different definitions for percentiles, but we'll use our ArtaStat Technologies answer as the answer to use as being correct, unless you're doing it by hand, and that may produce a different value, but that still would be correct in your analysis. Now, to calculate measures of center, it's pretty easy. You have some information here where to go. We're going to be using the ArtaStat. And so let me go ahead and show you what that looks like real quick. So once you get to the ArtaStat again, you have the web apps. You're going to explore quantitative data. And what's going to happen with the quantitative data, right? It opens up, reminds you that there's an app on the phone you could use also. Once we have that, you can then take a look. Again, you're going to enter in your own data. We don't have it for frequency table. We have it for individual observations. The name of the variable you would be what's the response variable, the data that we want to analyze, and then you would put the numbers. You would put the numbers in. The numbers we have from that last very basic example were 4, 3, 1, 6, 1, and 7. Notice it builds over here. You can enter them just with spaces, no commas, or you can put them in a line. Again, we can look at the distributions, but in this case, what we care about is the measure of center. And so what you see here, you see the mean value, you see the median, 3.5 and 3.6. Now, what's not here is the mode. The mode, the ArtaStat doesn't do the mode, right? It does the graphical stuff. It does what we call the descriptive statistics, the numbers that describe the sample, right? Important values, the 5-number summary, along with the mean, and then we'll learn what this one is in an upcoming lesson in the median. But the mode is easy to calculate, just the number that comes with the most, and so that would be 1 in this case. So that's how we're going to use the ArtaStat to do our calculations for descriptive statistics. And so here's the tips there to what to do. And lastly, the last example from this lesson is what happens if you have a frequency table. This is an example from our online homework. What if you have a frequency table? What this table again means is it's a long list of data, right? That means the 15 has come up 6 times. The 20 has come up 8 times. The 25 is 11 times. The 30 comes up 17 times. So it's a very long list, right? This is a long set of numbers. So I don't want to type that in, right? We do not want to type that in. So what you would do is in the Explore Quantitative Data, we could go back there and then notice there's a frequency table option here. You could put the values in. So you would 15, 20, 25, right? We went from 15 to 50, so those numbers would go in, and you would just enter those in, 15, 20, 25, and I'll finish this. So I finished entering the numbers for the frequency, which I think is, 12 and 7. So I used the frequency table, and then notice you have the mean, the median, but again, because there's so many values, right? There were 100 in that sample size. We wouldn't do it by hand. We would use technology to do that for us. And then you get the mean, the median, right? The mode doesn't come up, but that's easy to tell. The mode in this case would be 40 because that's the frequency that most comes up. So you end up with those values there. So for this data here, you could see we ended up with this number. So we see the mean, the median, and then we know the mode, the one that is the most frequent, which is 40.